Hey guys, All in Crypto here, and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for what is going to be a very chilled out Sunday daily cryptocurrency market update. For those of you that are new around here, we release a video every single day at 1 p.m. UK time, where we not only cover the cryptocurrency market, but the markets surrounding it that may or may not be affecting it. And really, I just want this to be a chilled out video. I'm going to try and keep it short and sweet for you, as I'm sure you guys may or may not have some good things planned for your Sundays. But we're going to be looking really at the week ahead. Now, this is something I do every Sunday with my Patreons. Not only look at the week ahead, but how we want to position for it. But I just want to focus on the data and the sort of major economic events that will have a bearing on the market moving forwards into tomorrow. Now, just to start off, guys, the stock market's closed tomorrow, so the cryptocurrency market may not have that as a kind of downdraft, sort of leaning on it. However, you will get your futures markets opening, which may sort of steer it in some kind of a direction. Also, it's a key level for Bitcoin. You know, this is something we've been looking at for a long time now. This, I believe, was a sort of a route forward that we've been looking at, this reverse head and shoulders, for a while now, really since we got to this neckline. And what really comes next is what we're going to be looking at. You know, my suspicion is we're going to coil up around the neckline. There's a number of structures that we could sort of set up for that would, you know, really give that confidence for continuation to the upside that we're looking for. You know, we've said that actually, and we said this right at the start of the year, a 30k Bitcoin isn't out of the realms of the possibility, at least by the sort of first half of the year or first half of the year end. And actually, I think what may come a lot sooner. You know, yesterday we really looked at the fact that this price action that we're seeing for the cryptocurrency market, it just feels different. You know, not only has it outperformed any other relief rally or short squeeze or whatever it may be, you know, since we entered this bear market. But I've just been watching traders who have, you know, been basking in the fact that they've been able to short this market, and they've, because of being on the side of the trend, been largely right, are now getting completely wrecked on the sort of turn here. And this is all stuff that we've covered in previous videos. So let's get into the week ahead. We're going to start, as of tomorrow, daily news updates, where we're going to bring you all the latest and greatest news that's taken place in the past 24 hours for the cryptocurrency market. It's a way for you guys to be able to watch a short and sweet video, get a hit of everything going on, stay up to date, and get on with your day. And you know, if you've got any positions in whatever may come up, you know, take that into account. So tomorrow we've got the stock markets closed. We've got the Eurozone consumer confidence. Tuesday, you can see all the PMIs that we've got. And we've got the CPI for Canada. Home sales in the US. The real one that I'm watching is Wednesday's FOMC minutes. Because this is going to set the tone moving forwards. And we've done a number of videos last week when we got data and said it's very funny because crypto's rallying despite a strong dollar and a stock market that is somewhat stalling based on sticky inflationary data that has led the markets to price in higher rates for longer. So I don't want to say it doesn't make sense, because it does. Certainly if you look at Bitcoin against its pairs, which we've done on this channel, you know, it's broken out against, for example, gold. It's broken out against the SPY, the S&P, NASDAQ across the board, which is a very good sign. But this is going to be, you know, markets are going to take this and run. And certainly the dollar, Bitcoin, and risk is really what I'm looking for. You know, the dollar, there's a number of things at play here. We did say it was likely to get a bounce in. That could mean a bit of a headwind for the cryptocurrency market and the stock market, you know, given the correlation, and we are still correlated. This will decouple or become less effective over time. And the thing that the cryptocurrency market has that the stock market doesn't have is arguably it's not overvalued, and it's still yet to reach any kind of maturity. It's in this kind of infancy that is going to be sort of, there's going to be this growth spurt when we have all this regulatory clarity. And I think the regulation and what the SEC is doing is actually what's fueled this, because they're giving credibility to the crypto space in regards to how they're taking it seriously. And initially, I think when the news about Kraken and they're coming after staking and BUSD, I think people took this negatively. There are negative aspects to it, but you've got to be able to, one thing I've learned as an investor and a trader is to look at both sides of the argument and go with, the one that has more credibility, but also understand the counter argument to it. You're going to be in a far more rounded position looking at both sides of the argument, not just blindly following one. We've given a bull case really since the start of the year, and bull scenarios, even though we've said, look, lower lows aren't 100% out of the question. But it's risky having no position in a market when there's reason to invest, and we've covered all those reasons previously. So Wednesday is going to be really the big day. Then a number of other things going on. The sort of crude oil situation is interesting in the US because I think they're at the lowest reserves they've been for 40 years or something. But they've just recently dumped a load of oil. So how does this factor into inflation? Loads of stuff to look at in the coming weeks. But main one for me is the FOMC on Wednesday. Markets will probably pause up to this and then sort of move on the release. And it's really at this critical level for Bitcoin right now because we've, again, stated a load of reasons why we allocated into the market again. If you want to find out what we bought, where we bought, and how we're positioned, you're welcome to join my Patreon. But you're at this key level for Bitcoin. Now, we initially had this as the neckline. And potentially that is the case, right? It's head and shoulders patterns. It's quite often that your armpits will sort of run through the neckline, and I'll have traditional technical analyzers that are listening to this go, what? What do you mean? But I've seen this 1,000,001 times. You got to remember crypto is a very skittish market. But there is also the possibility that you could be looking at this as the neckline, which would be a sort of perfect neckline. My hunch is that Bitcoin's going to coil up here. Whether it chooses to do that in a kind of slung fashion or whether it does that more sort of upright and really giving you credibility and more confidence in the move, whether it does something like this and then it sort of finds its way up, looks for that support. Once you've broken out of this zone and broken this and held it, guys, the amount of hype and FOMO that's going to be behind it, I think it's going to take you straight to 30K. I do believe that now. Providing that this happens. There are scenarios where maybe you run this. Okay. That would be your bear case here. Your bear case would be taken out here. And for me, actually, looking at this as a head and shoulders, we have always said we don't want this area getting ran. This was all sort of foretold this. We expected the pullback. We looked to load up on the pullback. We did exactly that. And it's been a very, very good couple of months. For me, certainly. And I know for many others out there. So this is really what we're looking at, and better take the eye off here. Looking at altcoins, DART, what a killer. They're kind of coming out of their basement now, Have I got anything on here? Yeah, this is what we drew for DART. These are all pre-draws, by the way, guys, that we didn't get it quite right, but look, maybe you get a pullback to it. What else have I got here? I've got to be careful what I'm bringing up. Altcoin, by the way, was a something that I was looking at in my Patreon in regards to swing trade. That's done bloody well this week. Long may it continue, hopefully. But your altcoins are all at this kind of similar-ish level. They're kind of breaking out of what you can sort of describe as maybe a basement. Link. Oof. When this clears that, it's going to be very interesting. Ethereum, again, coiling up. Shanghai upgrade is a little bit... I kind of have a little bit of concern for that. Not even just for Link, for the entire market. But your altcoins are doing very nicely. And I think hopefully, long may it continue. I think you've got a lot of people. You've got to think how much suppressed buying there was throughout this time period that we've hopefully now got over. There is still whatever the yield curve is predicting as a risk event. We've looked at that and said, look, that doesn't typically occur until further down the line, i.e. a point of uninversion. But the big news this week, of course, will be the FOMC. I've also noticed a hell of a lot of sort of China, Russia, US, Ukraine news circulating at the moment. So just keep an eye on the sort of geopolitical risk as well. On that note, I did promise this was going to be a short and sweet, somewhat lazy-ish update. And that's exactly what hopefully it's been. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. I hope you all have a wonderful Sunday. We'll be hitting it hard from tomorrow. You're going to get not only a daily cryptocurrency market update every day, also a daily, breaking news over the past 24 hours update. And then we are going to continue our crusade to educate people in regards to the crypto space, fundamentally, what you can do with it, how it works, all this great stuff moving forwards. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. See you all in the next one.